I'm author Curtis Black, author of Differently Abled Me, and I'm on Positive Power 21 with Jerry-Royce.
Hello, and thank you for stopping by. I'm your host, Jerry-Royce, and welcome to Positive Power 21 Network, where you get your positive on. This is a worldwide podcast for growth, wealth, and success. Thank you.
Positive Power 21.org, Internet Radio.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Jerry-Royce Show, and welcome to Positive Power 21.org. I am the voice of Jerry-Royce. When it's all positive, it's all power. That's Positive Power 21. And today's sponsors are the Resume Guy at www.career-image.com. If you got a resume that's not looking too tight, you may want to give them a call. There's a lot of jobs opening up right now. The U.S. is drilling for oil, so check it out. All right. We got FastTechSolutions.net for your internet needs. They rebuild and install computer and network infrastructures and install wireless home systems. So if you're in the Delmarva area, the DMV, give them a call or check out their website, again, at FastTechSolutions.com. And that's all on PositivePower21.org. Also, we have REI Heritage Tours, Cambridge, Maryland, home of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. Call 410-820-8350 or 1-800-522-TOUR to book your scenic driving tour with more than 30 sites related to freedom seekers in the 1800s. For more information, again, call 410-820-8350. In addition, they are preparing for Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad Conference on June 13th and 14th to celebrate 150 years after her death. They have a keynote speaker, Jeffrey Fortines, a Ph.D., assistant professor of history at Emmanuel College in Boston, Massachusetts. And also, we want to thank Lori Williams for being a sponsor of that beautiful songbird. We carry her CDs on our website at PositivePower21.org. She has a beautiful album I call Elite. I forgot the name of that bad boy. Well, anyway, check it out anyway. It's on our site. Also, Gerald Green, Let Me Be a Vessel, released in 2012, and Heart Towards Home, 2014, is new release. It's a religious nonfiction book. And also, we want to thank Lavette Saunier. She has a fiction book out called Mulholland's Diaries, based in the L.A. area. She was dealing with the children and the musicians and, I guess, rock stars and all those people living in 5%. Also, Bernard Rowell, we'd like to thank him. He released a book called Son, I Got Your Back. It's about bullying, how a father helped his son overcome bullies. And also, we want to I forgot about our gold sponsors. Wait a minute. ZukiPetGifts.com. Don't forget about them. If you need to get a basket for your friend who has a sick pet, or your friend's not feeling that well and she owns a pet, contact her at www.zukispetgifts.com. A finely dressed man at eBay. If you're trying to find yourself a nice wardrobe, but you don't have a lot of money to spend, but you want quality, check out the Finely Dressed Man. And also, don't forget about Serrano Marinara sauce, the best sauce you ever want to have. You can reach them at 703-623-6966 to order. Also, again, don't forget about Lori Williams. And I do have that book in front of me. Her album in front of me now. It's called Eclipse of the Soul. Eclipse of the Soul. And you can also download a single called Spoken for 99 cents, which is a beautiful, beautiful, well put together, composed. So check that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a special author, and it's one of the different books that we probably had in a long time here. His name is Curtis Black. He has a book out called Differently Able Me. It releases on June 1st, so it's about a week away. This book is about tweens. That's, like I said, it's for teens. It helps teach disability sensitivity amongst young people. So we're going to bring him on and find out, why he wrote this book and where he's moving forward with it. All right, Curtis Black, welcome to the show, sir. How you doing today?
I'm well, sir. Thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Curtis. Now, you kind of got us in the dark, man. We didn't have a website to look at. You didn't have yourself on Amazon yet. So what's the big secret, man? Tell us about this book, man. What's going on?
Gotcha. Well, everything's set to be released on June 1st, and I'm really, really excited. I'm new to the author scene. This is my first children's book, and I'm just extremely excited about it. As you stated, this book is pretty much directed towards our tweens out there. The young people who are not necessarily teenagers, but they're not still children, so they fall in that in-between range. And the book is titled Differently Abled Me, and the whole point of it is it's a basic, simple book with some awesome illustrations, and the whole point is to teach disability sensitivity amongst young people. Oftentimes, students with disabilities are often teased, often bullied, and just have difficult times matriculating through school and making friends. And what I want to really express to this book, which I hope, well, I'm going to claim it, which will become a children's series, I hope to express that pretty much we're all the same. At the end of the day, we're all the same, and we all take different paths to reach a common goal. So with this Differently Abled Me series, I hope to kind of share and let young people know that we can accomplish the same goal. Some people just may take a different path to get there.
That's right. That is true. That is true. Wow, man. And this is pretty deep, man. Now, I know you're excited. June 1st coming. Everything's going to roll out, the website, the book. People will be able to get it. What are you doing about promotion, man? Will they be able to find you on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere like that? What's going on?
The website is www.ableddifferently.com. www.ableddifferently.com. Ableddifferently.com is the website. Set to be released on June 1st. Also, the book will be loaded to Amazon.com, and on social media, I go under Curtis James. So you can reach me at Curtis James. And
Curtis James?
Email, yep, Curtis James.
Curtis James. All right.
Yep. Email address, differentlyabledme@gmail.com.
All right.
Email
good,
address,
good.
differentlyabledme@gmail.com.
All right, so what got you started in this book? I mean, what happened? What generated the thought pattern, the process?
Well, it's interesting you say that. Academically, I have a master's in education and vocational rehabilitation, and I have experience working with a person with disabilities. I'm also a mentor to several young people who currently have disabilities, and just my conversations with these young boys and girls who have these disabilities. I share in some of their conversations and some of the hurts that they've experienced. So I took all of that and said, hey, you know what? I see that this is a continuous problem for many young people, especially young people in school. And I just felt inspired by them. So I give credit to my mentees who've helped shape and inspire this book. And I just want kids their age and their peers to kind of know, hey, these kids aren't that different from you, that much different from you. They can still do the same things. They just may take a different path to get there.
That's right. And it's incredible, man, you decided to take on a project like that. Most of the time you hear authors do these type of projects because they're dealing with a child themselves in their home, and they know the frustration and difficulties of raising a child, and then letting your child go into the world without you is also, I can imagine, be pretty difficult, because just having healthy kids going out in the world is kind of difficult for most parents,
Right.
Wow, man, I commend you for that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Wow.
I'm really excited about this project, and I just want to let the listeners know that a portion of the proceeds from every book sale will go towards a local charity here in Baltimore, Maryland, that supports children and families who have a child with disability, a child or children with disability. So
very good.
Proceeds from this book will go to a good cause. I just want folks to know that.
Good.
Yeah.
So where are you mentoring at, Curtis?
Well, I am Big Brothers. I mentor through Big Brothers. My mentee actually one of my mentees just turned 18. So we're kind of old, and so we do our own thing outside of Big Brothers. But I mentor on my own as well. You know, I have 3 mentees on my own, but I've started through Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And from there, you know, I picked up a few young people on my own. Yeah, so young kids in Baltimore.
Yeah, so what made you take on a project like this, man?
Well, you know, in addition to my academic background, I just felt the pain. Like I said, 2 of the kids that I mentor have disabilities. I also have a family member, a younger relative with an intellectual disability, and just watching him attempt to make friends throughout his academic experience, you know, I just felt this pain. I really felt bad for him many times because he found it quite difficult and challenging to make new friends throughout his academic experience. So, you know, I just kind of watched him from the sideline and encouraged him the best that I could. But I've also seen some of the same patterns with some of the 2 of the young guys that I mentor. And I said, hey, man, I wish there was more information out there, or there was more literature out there, or more accessible information for young people to review, to become self-aware, become more aware, and like I said, sensitive to the differences of their peers who may not be like them, you know. And I think I strongly believe that insensitive children become insensitive adults. And when we look at a lot of adults throughout our communities who aren't that sensitive to persons with disabilities, I just think it comes from those adults not being taught and, you know, not being guided and given lessons on disability sensitivity when they were young, you know. So it becomes and creates a perpetual cycle, and you know, ultimately fosters insensitive adults. So when these adults interact with men and women on their jobs or in their communities with disabilities, they handle it, you know, in a negative manner because they too haven't been taught. So this is a book for everyone, you know, not just children. I hope that the goal and the point and the premise of the book can translate age groups as well. It's just a basic, simple book, pretty much to let folks know, like, hey, you know, we're all different in some way, you know, but we all can achieve the same goal.
That's
you know?
right.
And
That's
I believe at some point we'll all be a little differently abled, if you will. You know, the older we get, you know, our eyes don't work as well, our ears don't work as well, you know. So at some point at some point in our lives, all of us may experience some type of disability, you know, whether you break your leg or you break your arm, you know, you know,
fracture.
You hear
I remember. I remember.
Yeah, anything. So just put yourself in the shoes of that person, let's say, in the wheelchair who's having mobility issues, or a person who lacks sight, you know, who can't see that well, or a person who lacks hearing who can't hear that well. You know, it's not until we personally go through some type of experience like that we kind of can better relate to a person, you know, that's not pretty much not to a person that is disabled, actually.
That's right. Now, Curry, what's some of the challenges that the 18-year-old is experiencing right now? And will he be able to, you know, be independent on his own once he, you know, move out of? Is he living in a facility right now?
No, he's living with family members, which is great, and he has a very supportive family. But outside of the family, it's the community who is not that educated or not that responsive to, you know, him. You know, So it's his interactions with others, you know, who that may, you know, kind of cause some issues there.
Right. So what's some of the challenges that he has physically that you know that's giving him?
Physically, he has an intellectual disability. So he's not as quick on the draw as other folks. It takes him a minute to process information and to comprehend information. And I find that others who aren't sensitive, they lack patience with him and things like that. So, just basic life skills, just really trying to help him go to the next level, in terms of the skills that we take for granted, counting money and make sure you don't get cheated at the store or paying bills, or living independently on your own, so on and so forth,
That's right. That's right. And how about the other mentee that you had? What are some of the challenges he has?
So he also has an intellectual disability as well. Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
the similar challenge, they both face similar challenges from an intellectual standpoint. But from a book perspective, the primary character in my book is mobility impaired. And this young man is in a wheelchair. And he befriends a young girl on the playground. And they become friends and ultimately find out that they have a lot more in common than expected. So,
wow.
Yep. But my goal is to really, really turn this into a children's series and really highlight many of the other disabilities as well. So in this first book, I highlight mobility impairments and touch slightly on intellectual disabilities. My next step with book number 2 that will be released in the fall/winter 2014, the primary character will have either a visual or hearing impairment, and I'll keep running the books as a series until I've touched most of the main disabilities.
Wow, that's incredible, man. Now how are you getting your books? Now you're self-publishing, so are you using a local printer here, or use some of the online services to get your books printed and distributed? So how's that working out for you?
I'm using a local printer here in Baltimore.
All right, good. Yeah, because Baltimore is known for their printers and the quality of work they do. Because I actually was in the industry myself for a couple of years.
Gotcha.
But it got kind of rough. It got kind of rough in the 90s. But great, man.
Gotcha.
Now, this book, who's going to get it? How are they going to get it from you? I mean, they're sensitive right now. What's going to make them run out there and want to get the book, or is just going to be you pushing it in the schools? I mean, what's your process? What's your game plan for getting this book in the right hands?
Great question. Definitely using social media. Definitely going to just beat the streets. I'm selling them out of my trunk, word of mouth, social media, just classrooms. So I also run a nonprofit organization, and we've adopted a second grade class over at Montebello Elementary Middle School. And we've adopted that class, so I frequently go into this class and read to the kids there. So I'm really looking forward to reading to those children and over at Montebello Elementary Middle School. But I'm in contact with some other professional educators that I know, and my goal is to kind of get this book in the elementary schools throughout the city and county, here throughout Baltimore and Maryland.
Right, because when you said tweens, what age group is that? Because I guess teenagers, 11, 12? Is that right?
Yeah, so it's 10, 11, 12. So that's kind of like my target audience. So the book is tweens is you're in that between age. You're not necessarily a teenager, and you're not necessarily a young kid. So it's more so for tweens, just a basic book. That's kind of like my target audience, maybe that 2nd through 5th grade level, elementary school kids. So I really want to capture them because I find that things gets real oftentimes when you hit that 13 mark, or you kind of going into middle school, so that whole middle school experience is rough for
it is.
The average child.
Time.
So just imagine the young kid who is special needs, and imagine their experience trying to matriculate through that whole middle school process, through that kind of upper elementary school process. And Yes, this book was written with them in mind. That kind of upper elementary school age range.
That's right. Now, it's funny, man, because I remember when I was in middle school, I went to a pretty rough middle school. I went to Pimlico. And I remember it was it was predominantly black school, but I remember it was a white girl was going there. Her name was Shelby. And I remember she had, I think, cerebral palsy, so she had the equipment, like the halo equipment around her to keep her stable. But she could walk, but she took her time. But she had quite a few friends. And the guys we never bothered her, man. Even the jokesters, man, they never bothered her. And I remember some other kids had some issues with epilepsy and things like that. But everybody's pretty sensitive and looked out for them, man. So I'm just wondering, what are kids like, today, because I know during my time, it was a lot of jokesters out there, man, a lot of bullies, a lot of fist fights, So are you finding, what is your experience that these kids are not sensitive to the group that you're writing for? Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm finding that, kids, they're rough today, man. I think what's different is, social media has increased. So we have social media, we have cell phones. I'm just finding that things are a whole lot different now. And children with disabilities are just continuously finding it difficult to, oftentimes can find it difficult to make friends and be accepted and incorporated into the kind of daily fun, or daily social circles or daily social arena at school, or in the community for that matter.
So is that the biggest challenge? Because I know my youngest son, he's 11, and the school, he was going to a school right here in the community, and one of his friends, I thought when they met him he was okay, but he had an accident. And it left him in a wheelchair, and then I think eventually he was walking a little bit through the surgery. But they were there for him, man. I never remember him saying that, somebody's giving him a hard time. I remember taking him on a field trip, and, all the guys was, trying to help out. And I know he probably had challenges trying to, doing the things that they wanted to do, like playing, the PS3 online and, having a smartphone communicating. But I think a lot of the instruments out there now probably aiding him to be able to communicate with them, like, with the iPads and stuff like that. So, because I think they did have some kind of communication with him. They knew when he, when he communicated, like when he wasn't in school, I think he was able to communicate with them that he was okay and all that kind of stuff. So what are the areas, you think it's different areas that's having problems more so? Like the guys you mentioned to, are they telling you that this is happening to them?
Well, yeah, I think it's just overall. This is speaking for, just in a broader sense for young people. Again, it's not happening in all communities. But from a broad perspective, we want to encourage inclusion and incorporation into social settings. So it's great that the kid that you referenced, your son and his friends, they welcomed him and really treated him as one of the guys. That's awesome, and I wish we could see much more of that. But oftentimes, the kid who's different, go home alone, with no friends. So it's not in every community, but it's from a major perspective. We find that many young people who have special needs are alone, and they're lonely, and oftentimes not socially included in different events and activities.
Right. Now I know years ago, kids who couldn't function in a regular classroom, the parents kept them home and homeschooling if they could afford it, or I guess they got some type of assistance. But now it seems like homeschooling is becoming popular for not just kids who have, disabilities, but kids who just have social disabilities where they just don't feel like they fit in. So they prefer to stay home and study. Do you? Is that another form of a mental disability? How are they defining that nowadays?
What you mean when parents what the kids being
the kids that have social issues where they can't. It's in them mostly. It's not like they they have a real disability where they can't learn, but they just don't feel comfortable around people. So sometimes you find the parents keep them home and homeschool them.
Gotcha.
So,
well, that may stem from maybe a social anxiety or something to that effect. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. So many parents are choosing. I guess with the increase in bullying and increase shootings at schools and safety concerns, kind of studies are showing that many parents are deciding to kind of keep their children at home and keep them in a safer environment where they can kind of teach them and prepare them for life on their own themselves.
That's right. So you think that, like, in your definition with, we're publishing this book, that the real disability is with the kids that are normal, is because they haven't been taught how to deal with the minorities, the group, the shy kids and the kids who want to wear more earrings in his nose than the others, those kind of kids.
Yeah. So I think that it goes back to the golden rule, man. We got to treat people how we want to be treated, and I think we are all accountable, all adults in the community. I think the teachers, I think we're all held accountable for just teaching the golden rule, man. I think this world could be a much, much better place if we taught kids early on to kind of, hey, treat people how you wanted to be treated, and really driving that point home, and just think that, we're all the same at the end of the day, and be kind to your fellow man. Just those basic rules, those basic concepts. I think oftentimes it gets lost, or for some, it's never even taught. So and then that becomes a problem, because these young people who are never taught these basic simplistic rules of life, they go out into the world and, just cause all kinds of havoc. And at the end of the day, they end up, sitting next to us in a cubicle at a job, trying to bully, coworkers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So so it's something that
goes on.
So like I said before, I think insensitive children become insensitive adults. And if we can catch these young people early on and teach them, self-awareness and life awareness and, those basic rules and basic skills to kind of manage and, be kind to others, I think it'll help them in many other areas of their life, and it'll take them far.
That's right. That is true. Very true. Very true. Because like you said, with the social media, kids have access to each other just like that. I mean, just their name floating around in the classroom. And I remember, being in elementary school when there was a young lady. She was from Jamaica. She was a little different from the other girls. So the guys used to tease her, because she wore her hair shorter than the other girls. And they made it pretty. And she was really smart, sharp, really sweet person. She had quite a few girlfriends, but it was just the guys. We didn't understand girls in elementary school anyway. So it's almost like two things are happening at the time. Elementary school. One, we don't really like girls, and then if they're different than the prettier girls, it's going to be tough on those girls. So it's just so there's a lot going on, man. It's like, wow, differently able me can become a book making little boys more sensitive to little girls,
Yeah.
So
could be. And it's interesting you say that, because I have the primary character is a young boy in a wheelchair, and the secondary character is a young girl, who has an intellectual disability. That's interesting you say that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we're at the top of the hour. Tell us a little bit more about the book and some of the characters in the book. Now, how many pages is this book?
So the book is about 13 pages long, and it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple book with, like I said, beautiful illustrations, and we're really excited about it. And once again, it's about a boy named Randy who meets a girl named Sandy on the playground, and they become friends and ultimately look out for each other, and they create a nice bond and develop a lasting friendship.
Good. Wow. So what's some of the challenges that they run into in the book without giving too much away?
Okay, so in the book, so pretty much they meet on the playground, but on the playground, Sandy, Randy, the main character, gets teased a little bit, so the book illustrates that he's getting teased. But Randy's also showed them that, hey, I can play. He plays, even though he's in a wheelchair, he can swing on the swing. A lot of kids, a lot of people don't even know that, hey, there are some accessible devices out there that can make play fun for children with special needs. So a lot of people don't even know that there's like a swing set that a person with a disability can swing on. He showed Sandy that, hey, he can play with some of the other toys and contraptions on the playground as long as they're accessible. Ultimately, closer to the end, he finds that Sandy may be more than like him than expected. So Sandy has her own struggles and sometimes feel alone as well. And they ultimately make a pact to become and remain friends. And, they go on and, they kick
it. All right, man. Now, you have a lot of book festivals coming to the area. The East Coast is going to be flooded with them from, I guess, May through to October. I guess it ends with the Baltimore Book Festival. I think there's one in D.C. at the same time. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. Are you planning to do any of the book festivals so you can reach some of these parents that have these some of these children? Because that's all they the ones they have the money, not the kids.
Absolutely. And I'm currently doing research on the local festivals that are coming to our area. So I definitely would like to submit an application to be a vendor at some of the book festivals, yes.
All right, good. Because there's a lot going on in the area, man. I think once the sun is out, people like to hit these festivals, man, and spend money and look for new authors. And, of course, they got the wine tasting events. Now, have you thought about being a little creative? Because there was a guy I met a couple of years ago. This guy, he was new out there. He was a mystery writer. He was really creative with his marketing and strategic planning. He never went places where there were other authors. He was a little different. He did the music festivals, the wine tasting events, you name it. He found it. He called them. They said, "Okay, come on out." And I think in some instances he didn't have to pay anything, because he was prepared for him. Yeah. So have you thought about any of that in your planning?
From a different perspective, no, not at all. But I think that's something that I will take into consideration. Any festival or event that will allow me to serve as a vendor to just really spread the word and create a better awareness, to foster a better awareness throughout our communities about disability awareness, not only in children but in adults as well. I'll take it. I'm definitely open. I'm definitely open to that.
That's right. Very good, man. So we're excited for you, Curtis. We hope the very best for you, man. It sounds like it's a very interesting project. I know you said it's gonna move forward in other series, teaching kids about other things they need to be sensitive about. It's the world we live in right now. Like you said, social media has really taken on its own. Kids can bully you in your home. They don't even have to be here with you, So I know it's really rough. It's rough out there now. Everybody doesn't look alike. Everybody don't walk the same. Everybody can't play sports, and everybody can't be an A student. So it's a lot. So it's a big animal for you to tackle, man. So you sound like you up for the challenge, though.
I'm up for it. Yes.
All right, man. All right. Now, one of the things we didn't talk about. How about the religious groups, man? Are you be able to embrace? I mean, maybe your congregation or?
Definitely. Long term, I would love to do workshops and seminars on this very topic. So, I definitely would love to hit some of the religious groups, especially the youth groups. I used to serve as a youth leader at a local church here in Baltimore. So I have experience. I'm a mentor. So I have a connection and a deep passion for young people as well. So I'm familiar with how to communicate with the youth. So, I definitely look forward to doing some workshops with that population as well. All
right, good, man. We appreciate that, man. I'm glad you were able to come up on the show, man, and talk about this sensitive. I'm hoping that some of the adults just hearing us now will think about, some of the coworkers they have. A lot of people don't, look the same. They don't speak the same. They don't dress the same. good or bad, people always have their prejudices against, different, and that's not the way. That's not how God molded us, man. How He built everybody to be different, So this is going to be important.
Yeah, you'd be very surprised. Through my employer, I serve as the chair for the Advisory Council for Employees with Disabilities. And you'd be surprised how insensitive many adults are, and many persons in leadership positions are, and it just saddens me because, again, I find those same adults were once children who were never taught how to be sensitive to others, and again, it just proves my point that insensitive children ultimately become insensitive adults.
Yeah, it's very true, man. So you got a big, like I say, I guess we can call it a mission ahead of you.
Mission. I heard that.
It's all about spreading God's love, really, man.
Absolutely. The golden rule, man. Treat people how you want to be treated, man. That's what it comes down to.
Absolutely. All right, Curtis, we're about to close out, man. Any final comments, man? Any more information you'd like to give people where they can find your book, where they can find you next if they want to come out and join you and check you out?
Sure,
in the Baltimore area?
Well, yep, so just want to, again, thank you for the opportunity to serve on the show. Again, my name is Curtis Black, author of Differently Abled Me, to be released June 1st. Website, www.ableddifferently.com, www.ableddifferently.com. I can be reached at differentlyabledme@gmail.com.
That's right. Again, that's Curtis Black, Differently Able Me. And I'd like to leave you guys with this. Challenge yourself to enjoy this very moment fully, completely, sincerely, and learn to put the power of joy in everything you do. I'm Jerry-Royce, and thank you for joining us at PositivePower21.org. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Positive Power 21 Network. Team 21 would like to thank you all for tuning in, and please spread the word and tell a friend. This is Jerry-Royce at Positive Power 21, where we get our positive on. All right, hold the line, Curtis.